Hey there, if you want to improve your rankings with Google and you want to improve your Google reviews, this training today is for you. If you have a service-based business, if you're a healthcare provider, a service provider, Google is your go-to. And this is even more powerful than any SEO ranking you could ever do. So we want to really cover Google reviews and talk about creating heavy lifting Google reviews. So within your business, within your company, within your office, you have some star people who have been there supporting you. And when you get a powerful Google review from one of them, it helps you out tremendously. So here are the three components of a really good review. One, it shows life before and after working with you. So what difficulty were they having before, what they went through, and how is their life better on the out at the end. Number two, emotion focused. People don't buy on logic. They buy on emotion and then justify it later on logic. So an emotional review gives you more power. And then the last thing that's really powerful is number three, is that brings up common objections others would have. What about cost, time, discomfort, unknowns, all these things that are holding people back? If your review talks about what they went through in their experience, that will help the next person make the better decision for what's going on in your business. So let's dig in. This is a dental office review for a patient who was talking about her experience. She's very clear on the before and afters. She brings up objections, and I'm going to go through it all along. And then it's very emotional, and it takes you through the journey about what her life is afterwards. So first thing she said, if you're on the fence about this dentist, read this. First objection, I might have been considering this procedure. I might have been considering this business. Let me tell you why. She brought it right up. One, I had bad teeth for years, horrible teeth, before state. I've been through so many dentists and amount of money. I feel that like I've wasted is ridiculous. She talks about, I don't want to feel like a fool again. I've been through this experience. Her before is very, very clear. I was in pain, and each dentist I went to would tell me something different, but not one of them fixed my problem. Again, very overcoming other competitors, their before state, and made it very clear going through. So I went without treatment. I went without it, and I did my best to cope. I could barely chew anything, couldn't drink or eat anything cold, and I hid my smile and hoped people didn't look at my teeth when I talked. Brought up the emotions of the situation. I was embarrassed, and I felt like I was in a losing battle that I couldn't afford to win, overcoming money objections. I refused to see a dentist for 2 years. What happens when you ignore the situation? Anxiety, fear, and pain and financial issues kept me from even trying to find a dentist that could help me out. She went through her state. Then it happened. The day came when I couldn't go any further without some sort of help, and a friend happened to mention how much she loved her dentist, and from what recommendations I decided to give Dr. Chad a try. That was the best decision I've ever made. So it's emotional, and she's going to go through now and justify that in the review. From day one, Dr. Chad and his staff were kind, treated me like a human being and not a paycheck, treated my anxiety with respect, and never once made me feel like the other dentists do. So a lot of barriers to going to the dentist is embarrassment and fear and what are people going to say and think about you. That was overcome by that. So she showed that next person. As a single mom with more than a full-time job, the money was tight and there wasn't a time to make more. So we talked about objections again. But they worked with me. I truly believe they cared about my situation better, making me feel better. I put off treatment for months and trying to find a way to afford it, but the nurses there didn't let me wait. They called me with solutions and helped me get the ball rolling on my treatment plan. Overcome that first hurdle. Now, I'm not talking about just a little bit of work. We're talking a full makeover. This month marks my 1 year anniversary and when I started the treatment, and it's all done. I can honestly say these people have changed my life after state. And anytime I need to be seen for an adjustment or there's an issue, they get me right in without hesitation. So it makes you, the reader, understand that you're not going to be abandoned later. Another common objection. And to some people, the next point doesn't mean much, but everyone in the office knows my name. She feels validated, emotional. when I walk in, they say, "Hey, Jesse," and they really do treat me like family. They treat everyone like family. It's truly the best dentist around. So for anyone with high anxiety about dentists who needs a lot of work, who didn't have hardly any money to spend on my dental needs, these people changed everything. I now recommend everyone to them, and I take all 3 of my kids here, and even they love going in for their cleanings. If you're in pain, don't wait. Call them and see what they can do for you. I wish I had tried them sooner. Every one of the high points she covered in that testimonial. So when you're collecting testimonials and reviews from people in Google, you can sit down and ask certain people who've gone through a common objection. If it's a money objection and you were able to overcome it in your office, have that person please do a review for you and bring that up and talk about it. And you could coach them through the experience and say, what was your life before? Why didn't you do it before? How did we overcome the money? And how's your life later? So they're talking about smaller payments and they're able to understand. That's a person you want to have a Google review. If someone's talking about pain or the time concerns or feeling overwhelmed or feeling mistreated, all of those things are covered if you help them create that Google review. You can do that. So that's what your assignment today is not only collect Google reviews, but helping people when you ask them, specifically go through and ask key people in your business that if you have overcome this, that you know have overcome certain objections, and ask them to be an advocate for the office. Let them know somebody else out there is having that same problem, and they'd love to hear from you how you got through the process. And there you go. So that's your training for today. It's action-packed, and so I want you to go through and identify 3 objections in your business this week. And then I want you to find 3 customers that have already gone through that process that had that objection, and you know you got it through. And then you're on track. Take care. This is Ginger. Until next week's training. Bye-bye.